Major chord. Let me start again. Should I start again? No. Welcome back to another episode of the Fret Buzz. Today we're going to talk about dominant 7th chords. What does that mean? How do you create them? Where do they exist? What's the function of them? Broad overview for this lesson. So a dominant chord consists of three intervals: a major third, a minor third, and then another minor third on top of that. So if I chose D as an example, and have D as the root, and a major third higher than that is F sharp, a minor third higher than F sharp is A. So there's my major chord, and now to get a dominant 7th, I'm going to add another minor third onto this equation and get C. This is from A to C as a minor third. This fingering is kind of ridiculous, but it illustrates the notes like in a really pianistic sort of way, like note after note after note. So D, F sharp, A, and C. Alright, cool. So I can rearrange those notes into any order I want to, and it's still going to be a dominant 7th chord. So let's use open D as the root note. So the next note was an F sharp, right? So here's an F sharp on the E string, separated by an octave, a 10th, if you will, for those of you in the know about intervals. Here's the A, the 5th that I played before, and C is the 7th. So a bit easier to get to this particular shape than it is to get to that one. So both are possible, but we're just looking for something that's, I don't know, reasonably comfortable to get to at first before you start getting all crazy. So let's work on now inverting these chords. Okay, so if you have the root note as the bass note, root and bass are different things, but if the root of the chord is the lowest tone, it's called root position. And you can play a root position D7 chord the way that I showed you, like this, or like this perhaps, D, A, F sharp, I'm sorry, D, A, C, and F sharp. It's the same notes as here, just in a different position. Where else can we get this? Sometimes people will play a dominant 7th chord like this. You have a full bar on the 10th fret, 12th fret on A, and then the 11th fret on the G string. Alright, so really big sound with that one. All of these chord shapes are movable, so if I wanted to take the first D7 chord and turn it into an E7, I'm going to move these three fingers and then this open string up 2 frets, D, E flat to an E. There's E7. Most guitar players, myself included, when we first get into new chord forms, we're like, that's not an E7 chord. E7 is like this. Like there's only one way, and it's ridiculous. But that's how we have to start out, kind of just building a vocabulary, we can do a root position D7 chord like this. I can play a D on the A string, open D again, a C, an F sharp, and into an A. All right? Kind of a cool sound, a little bit rough of fingering here, you know. As long as D stays your open tone and you represent the other three notes in the chord, F sharp, A, and C, in some way, it'll be a root position chord. Or, I mean, they're everywhere. There's so many different possibilities, you know. The next inversion of this chord is going to be called first inversion. When you take the third of the chord, which is the F sharp in this case, if you make that the lowest note, and then you play the other three notes, D, C, and A, on top of this F sharp in some way, right? It's still the same sound. You know, it's all related, but F sharp is my bass note now. It's not the root, it's the bass. The root of the chord is right here. It's on the B string 3rd fret for that D. Just do a couple more. If I take this F sharp, right, I can play, I guess I can put the D right here. Here's an A, here's a C. Kind of a nice sound. Where else? F sharp in the bass. Okay, we'll just do this. Huge. Like a regular D7 chord, right? With the second finger free for this F sharp in the bass. Very hip indeed. Next inversion. If we have the fifth of the chord as the bass note, it'd be a second inversion chord. So if I take A as my lowest note, now I have to represent F sharp, C, and D somewhere else. Here's one possibility. A, F sharp, C, and then D. Fretwise, 5 open, 4, 5, 3. Where else? How about here? D, I'm sorry, A, D, F sharp, and C. Still have A as the lowest note. We can do it here, A, D, F sharp, C. You can separate the notes out a bit more, potentially. Let's try, kind of a cool one. A, F sharp, C, and D. Whatever. Experiment, see what kind of fingerings you like. The last inversion. Very, very cool sound. If you take, now the seventh of the chord would be the C that we were talking about. So if C is the lowest note, now I have to find D, F sharp, and A. Somewhere, you know, higher than that C. Oh, perfect. It's a really nice sounding chord. So in this case, I'm barring the second fret, playing D on the B string, and then C in the bass. So it's like a C, open D, A, D, F sharp. All the notes of the original chord, D, F sharp, A, and C, are represented. Try squaring these things out. Let's use this C, and now I'll play. Oh! Another nice sound. This one's a little bit tougher to jump to, but let's still do it. 5th fret of the E string for the A, F sharp on the B string, D on the G string, and then C on the low E. There's a nice spread happening, a big sounding, you know, conflicting 7th in the bass, creating all kinds of beautiful tension. One more that's not so rough. How about this? Let's play C in the bass, F sharp, A, and then a high D. Do it with 4 fingers like this if you want to. 10, 11, 10, 10. That's kind of like a tight voicing. Try this. Play a 2/3 bar on the 10th fret, and your middle finger will be on that F sharp. These fingers are free. For one chord, just one, just the 7th chord. It's so nice. So check out the next couple of lessons that we'll be talking about how to use dominant chords, and then how they exist in both major and minor keys and what the function of them will be in your progressions. All right. So a dominant seventh chord is a major triad with a flat seventh. What does that mean? Okay. If you... Let's start again.